So, for anybody that doesn't know, we are the Shady Book Club. We started last month, and every single Friday we are having a indie author on to kind of promote their books, get them out there a bit more. There seems to have been kind of opening for this where people seem to go for the people that are more popular, and we want to kind of get indie authors pushed out there and get as many people as possible liking their work. So yes, we have the wonderful, most amazing CJ Riggs on this week.
Yes.
Obsessed.
Seeing me look like a fucking mole rat at the moment because I'm just not. I was like, should I actually like wash my hair and do it straight? And then I was like, nah.
No.
You do have a good head of hair. Like, every time I see you, I'm just like,
I have a lot of hair. That's why I had it all cut off. It was just, it's so heavy as well. Like, it doesn't look like a lot when I straighten it, but it's the weight of it is ridiculous. So it had to go.
how short is it now?
Huh? It's like here now.
Okay.
It was like near enough to my butt. Like I decided to grow it, and then it got so long, and I was like, that's just looking really ratty. That I can't do that. Like, I know I'm from East London, but I can't do that.
Big lob. I love it. I love it. That's why I've got the hat on today. It needs washing, so I was like, nope.
I really just couldn't be bothered. This is what I look like most of the time. So if anybody ever sees me and I look nice, it's literally because I've pre-recorded stuff when I've gone out. I never ever look nice. I always look like this.
I love that. So I will kick it off with a question. Do you want me to start, Anita?
Go on, girl.
Okay. So your first book you published, and when did you publish that book?
So that was No for an Answer, and that was it's nearly a year actually. So April 30th. So we're literally coming up on the year anniversary of my debut novel, which is wild.
That is insane.
It's gone so quick.
You've done so much in that year as well.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, I've been wanting to write for so many years, and then it was just like one day and this is how tight I am. I messaged my mum and I was like, I want to buy a laptop, but I don't have the money right now. Will you buy me one? And she was just like, oh, yeah, all right, whatever. And then I got the laptop, and for like the first 6 months I had it, I didn't know what I was going to do. And in the front of No for an Answer, when it says that I came up with the idea when I was cleaning my cat's litter tray out, that's literally, if you see my cats, they're jumping everywhere at the moment, so I do apologise. That is literally how I came up with it. I was cleaning litter and I was just like, that's a weird idea. And then I wrote that down, and then just for the next, like, I think it was like 5 or 10 days, I was just going through the whole process of, well, how would I connect that, and why would she be doing that? And because obviously I'm British, so terminologies and, you know, college and university is completely different in America than it is to the UK. And I had to do a lot of research into trying to find out how I would make the story, because it was set in America, so believable. But yeah, that's just, in a year, it's been crazy.
I love that. You were my very first arc. Your very first book.
Really?
Yeah.
I genuinely, when I put that up for arcs, I did not think that I would get as many arcs as I did. And I think I got like something around like 360, 370 arcs. And I was just like, I'm just a girl that chats shit on the internet for fun. And you actually all want to read my book. Okay, like, good luck. And it went straight to bestseller, and I was gobsmacked. I really was shocked.
Do you know that I feel with you, you had like that TikTok gathering first of all. Yeah. So you had people that absolutely adored you before the book came out.
I was very lucky. A lot of my followers and my content came from one single video that I posted, and it just went. I think I've still got it on my page. It's something like, I think like 27.8 million likes now. Wow. And it's my largest grossing video. And that was literally just a duet. That wasn't even, and it's crazy how that was so random. I recorded the duet, posted it, and then the next morning I woke up, my phone had frozen because it just went absolutely crazy, and it was nothing to do with books. This was before like I started getting onto Book Talk and get into that part of like social media. And since then, that's how I think that's how my followers have grown, just because I'm not, it's not something that I like pride myself on, but I'm just not a serious person. I don't think I'm like your typical author. Like, I engage a hell of a lot with my readers. I engage a hell of a lot with like people that are even not readers, even on like on other social media accounts, like, and I don't take myself too seriously. And my PA Brit, if you guys know who Brit is, she is definitely one of those people that just said to me, like, what you do is, it works, so don't change it. So yeah. Oh, like, how am I?
You fucking hard.
I love that. I love how down to earth you are as well. It makes it so much better.
I think it just is. I have to give a lot of credit to my mum, like, because my mum, she was a single mum, even though I did have my dad. You know, my mum, my nan and granddad raised me. You know, I was born in the 80s, so it was a hell of a lot different when I was growing up. And I think that's where a lot of most of my humour, and I think I just don't care. Like, I just don't care. Like, I'm grateful for my readers, you know, making me the type of author that I am, but also at the same time, that's not who I am. Like, I write books for myself because I enjoy them, and hopefully when I put them out, they give some kind of joy and like some kind of safe space and like that brief moment of happiness that, you know, when I read, because I'm a reader first and I'm an author, and when I read my books, usually the types of books that I read are when I'm in a type of mindset where I need a break from reality and I need to just step away from everything, and that's why I write. So I think just because I don't care what people say and what people think in the negative sense, and I hope that comes across when people look at me and they read my work.
Massively. I can't remember what I saw of yours first, but I knew as soon as you'd finished your sentence or your first word, I was like, babe, legend. You just get normal people on side instantly. You're not posturing, you're not glammed up, you're just you. No. And it effing works.
And you know what? I've always been that way. Like, not always. I think it sort of kicked in when I got social media, which was during COVID. Because everybody got TikTok through COVID. It was the one place that we could all like connect and we could all chat and enjoy ourselves. And I think because I hadn't worn makeup in a year and I hadn't bothered to do my hair because I wasn't working and I was just getting paid to be off. Amazing. It stuck. So when I do put makeup on and I do my hair, I'm just like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to look like when people see me on social media.
Right. Nina Knox says she likes your voice.
Thank you.
Someone said she said writing is her version of mindfulness. Writing is therapy. And someone said, hey sis, you're an amazing writer.
Oh, thanks, bro. We've got a co-write coming out soon as well, me and Posty, so
I am trying to keep up with your comments, guys. Sorry. Sorry, I have the next question. My bad. You also answered one, I think.
I'm sorry, I talk a hell of a lot. My bad.
Oh, you're fine. Please continue to talk. I love it. So I was going to say, the question was, what influences your book genre? Like, but then you said your cats, so that's...
I think, like, I grew up watching only horror stuff. My nan was the one that introduced me to horror. The first ever horror movie that I watched was the 1986 Nightmare on Elm Street with a very, very young and very hot Johnny Depp in a crop top. So if any of you's ever seen that film and you know what a very young Johnny Depp looks like when he was wearing a crop top before he was Jack Sparrow, that was what got me into horror. And I think as I've got older, even though I dabble in like, I like rom-coms, like I don't cry in general, but when I watch romantic stuff, I'm a complete baby. I cry all the time. But I think because I've grown up on a lot of 80s, a lot of even like down to black and white movies, my mum was very big on like the whole like Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, you know, like Wolfman. Because I grew up with my mum, who was a single mum, that was how we bonded, and it's transpired into my work. So I think that's why my main choice is always to go to erotic horror, because as I was growing up, it was never you can't watch this because it's got sex in it, you're too young to watch that. And then the older it becomes like that taboo thing where you think to yourself like, oh well, when I get older I'll be able to watch it. And then when I got older I was like, oh, is that it? All right then. It's not as like you desperate to watch it. And I think that's why my work is always going to have an horror aspect to it, because that's what has solidified with me, and that's where I have most of my memories.
That's so cute.
So what are your favourite tropes to write and read?
So I wrote this down because I have a lot, and some of them might be a bit unexpected. So obviously, enemies to lovers, nothing tops that for me.
No.
I like the bully trope, but I only like the bully trope if it's justified bullying.
Okay.
If you're just being a dick because you are a dick, that's not bullying that's not like romantic bullying to me. That's like you're just a nasty person.
Yeah.
But if you have a justified reason, like, I don't know, you were dating like in a book, I read a book a little while ago where the girl came back and the boy started bullying her, and the reason he started bullying her is that he believed that she was the reason why his brother killed himself. To me, that's a justifiable, I hate you, I'm just going to bully you. Best friend's dad and ex-boyfriend's dad.
Yep.
I have massive daddy issues. So anything with a daddy trope, I'm all over it like white on rice. Office romance.
Yeah.
And Grumpy Sunshine. Can't beat Grumpy Sunshine.
Yeah.
Cannot.
Yeah, I love Grumpy Sunshine. Especially office romance with a Grumpy Sunshine.
Or like Grumpy Sunshine when it's Cowboy. Cowboy is like my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, me too.
I don't read Small Town very often. Like, I think the only two authors of Small Town that I've ever read are Elsie Silver and Melanie Harlow, because to me, them two women like hit it every single time they do it. And they were the first. Ignite was the first ever small town single dad romance that I'd ever read. And you get like, I think it's like 70 to 80% into the book and they've not even kissed. And it was the first time that I understood what like, like tension, and you get irritated because like, you just like, just kiss her already. Just like, get it over with, just do it. And then when it happened, I was like, that's even hotter than a 7-chapter smut scene. Like, he kissed her and then he walked away. Just give it to me now. I need it.
My glass, at the base of my glasses starts to steam up where I'm all hot.
All the time. And I think it's Heartless by Elsie Silver. Cade. Listen, you ain't never going to top a man like that.
Nope.
I think I read Latte Darling because of you. Just the way you described
Listen, right? Any age gap where the man's got tattoos and he's greying and he's literally, he looks like he's like 7 steps from the underworld, and it's a young FMC. Listen, give it to me. I'm here. Like, it's like when people were going crazy over, what was it, Ali Hazelwood's book, the age gap in Ali Hazelwood's book or something? Maybe it was hers, like the swimming book where one of them's a swimmer or something, and the age gap was, I think, like 8, 9 years. I could be wrong. I've not read it. But I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, they'd be stewing a pot if they found out that like Ashley was 19 and fucking Nathan from No for an Answer was like 38. Can you imagine?
Nathan is, I'm just about halfway through the book. So I am fluffing every time I read about Nathan. Like, if a Nathan walked through my door now, not knowing the end of the book.
Yeah, Nathan was written for the female gaze only.
Oh, female. Listen, I would gaze all day long. Okay. What are your ideal writing conditions? What do you need to smash it out?
Oh God. Most of the time, I'm really boring. I don't have like a special writing room yet until like me and my wife move. But it's literally I sit on the sofa and I usually put on this will show my age, by the way, the very, very old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy.
Wow.
Like when they were men in mechanical suits.
Yeah.
Creepy as shit. I'll either put that on or I'll put on You, because I have a huge thing for Penn Badgley. So I can write just listening to him. And my wife can't understand how I can do two things at once. Or three things. I can watch, listen, and write at the same time. And that's usually just my general, it don't get any deeper than that. It really don't get any deeper than that.
No, I think the SR, she was like total silence, no? Or some instrumentals.
A bit of instrumental.
Yeah. I can't do much in total silence ever, really. It's something, there needs to be traffic happening.
Yeah. The only time I can't have any sound is when I go to sleep, because I'm a very, very light sleeper. But other than that, I could have music on, watch TV and write. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm quite boring when it comes to my writing. There's nothing exciting.
So what research did you do for this book? We've picked two out, so we've gone for No for an Answer and Vigilante.
Right, let's just go with the quick, easy one. There weren't no research I needed to do for Vigilante, because let's just face it, Luigi Mangioni's face was enough. I didn't need to... I understand, obviously, the seriousness of that nature, and me and Dakota have fully made it clear that we don't condone any kind of behaviour in that sense. But why would I need to research anything when his face is the moneymaker? Like, that's... The man turned up to court in a pair of boat shoes, a woven sweatshirt, and a pair of, like, beige chinos. And you're telling me I'm not going to try and write a book about that? No, that's not. But so that was literally pretty easy. But for No for an Answer, a lot, obviously, taking out the murder side, a lot of No for an Answer is actually me.
Wow.
So when I wrote Maisie is actually 90% me.
Wow.
So I put that. I think that's probably why her chapters come across a lot more heavy hitting when you do get those diary entries, because everything pretty much that happened to her has happened to me. So I think that's where I started off. That was my research. And I think the main part of my research was the kill scenes, because if you was to see my Google search engine plus my PA's Google search engine, and I'm so lucky now that I have so my friend Justine has a friend called Courtney, and her husband's a doctor, and I think she is still or is training to be a paramedic. So when I need medical advice, I go straight to her, and it's usually like I'll message her and I'm like, not even hello, good morning, how are you? I'll message her and go, so hypothetically, if I needed to remove somebody's face, what would be the medication that I could use, and would they still be alive when I did it? Or like, if I wanted to kill someone instantly, what would be the quickest and best ways to do it? And I would not have some of the best ideas that I've had if it's not for some of the stuff that she comes back with. Because I think her husband thinks that I am like mentally close to committing a crime.
Tempting.
because some of the stuff I ask her is like absolutely ridiculous. She told me once, and I think this is when I knew if I ever needed medical advice, I'd go to her. I was like, give me an idea, because I was writing a short story. I was like, give me an idea where a male could feel the most amount of pain in the quickest way. And she said, well, you could always put a catheter up his penis and then attach it to an oxygen tank, turn the oxygen tank on, and it would expand his bladder and he would like blow up from the inside out. And I was like, I'm writing that down. And I went straight into my notes and I put it in my notes. If you could see my notes list for kills that I've got for books.
I think you need to write yourself a legal disclaimer, just to leave in your notes, like you lose your phone or something.
I do. Oh, my favourite bit of research that I actually did was, so my dad is actually ex-military. And I messaged, it was the first time I'd spoken to him in ages, and I messaged him and I was like, Dad, if I wanted to hypothetically blow up a car, how would I do it without using a bomb? And he gave me a step-by-step. So technically, quote unquote, when you read no for an answer, that is technically how you do it. Without putting myself in the shit, that's exactly how you do it. Yeah.
I'm gonna get so many flags when I try and put this on YouTube. They were like, no, you can't say that.
Just please, Coter, I'm so sorry.
Hypothetically,
just bleep me out. Yeah. Bleep me out.
Hypothetically. That is so funny. Okay, I think I have the next question. Is it me or you? Oh, I'm so confused. What? Okay, right. What have you learned about yourself throughout your writing journey?
Probably that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. Anyone who knows me on social media and personally knows I'm very, very open with things that I stand on and certain subjects that I stand on. And I think writing the types of FMCs that I do in erotic horror and dark romance and the types of trauma that they go through, I'm a lot stronger writing stuff like that than I thought I would be, which also has transpired into my personal life, because I've realised that what happened to me isn't me. Like, it's not the part of me that is who I am that everybody should focus on. So I think me realising that I'm a lot stronger person than I initially was probably what I've gotten most out of my writing.
I love that. So it's in healing and eye-opening.
Yeah, definitely. Like a hell of a lot of healing. Because as I said, like, I write a lot of strong FMCs. I've never been one that's ever enjoyed reading weak FMCs. And when I say weak FMCs, I don't mean the types of FMCs that are weak for a reason, but then their character development makes them strong. I'm talking about an FMC that is literally weak from point A to point Z, and there's just nothing there. Mm-hmm. I like to cater for women that have had trauma and women that have experienced sexual assault and women that have experienced bullying and women that have experienced sexual harassment, to know that when they read my books, they can, and this is not me trying to be like egotistical or anything like that, but know that they can read my books and feel not alone, but feel like there's more out there than just, it's not just happened to them, it's happened to everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's why I write my FMCs the way that I do.
I love that.
I think it's needed.
I can't stress how infuriating some FMCs like get me. Like, do you ever like throw your phone or your Kindle or your book down and be like, I can't deal with this anymore because you can't do that?
That's why, like, if you ever see me review stuff, like if you ever see me review books, which is it's very rare, but if I ever review books on my page, it's because genuinely the entire book was just, it blew me away. I won't ever review books where there was something that I don't like. I will never go to Goodreads and bash an author, because it just means it worked for me. I wasn't your target audience, and that's okay. That's fine. Just like, you know, I completely understand when people say that reviews are for the reader, not for the author.
Yeah.
But it's so hard as an author to not want to see what people say about your books. And I'm not one of those people that will just see someone that has 1-star reviewed it and been like, oh, you know, I'm just going to blow up because you didn't like my book and it took me this long to write. Like, if you didn't like it, that's absolutely fine. There is no problem. But my issue is when I see reviews of other people's books and my own, where you've clearly stated something in that book, that person has chose to ignore it and then moans about it at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, right in the beginning of my book fully states it is not a happy ever after. This is not romance. This is not a traditional happy ever after. I don't write happy ever after because life isn't always like that, and I like realism to my stories. And the amount of people that I've seen that have 1-star reviewed it and just been like, oh, it's not a happy ever after. Well, no, I said that.
Yeah.
Like I stated that, but like, if I'm happy, if you don't like it, I'm happy if you love it. At least you tried. It just means that my books weren't targeted for you, and they will find the people that they are for.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what parts of your books did you find hard to articulate?
Not so much hard to articulate, because I think once I get an idea in my head, I like. So I'm writing something right now, and then I'll have a break and I'll read, and then I'll think of something, and I wrote a novella in 3 days. It's not that I find things hard to articulate, it's that I find things hard to get on paper because I don't have the patience to wait. If I think of something, I have to write it, because otherwise my brain won't stop thinking about it. But I think if I was going to say one, not hard, but probably more of the more typical romance side of stuff. Like one of my goals for 2025 was to learn how to write yearning through my characters, because I struggle slightly with that. Yeah. Because again, a lot of my stuff is very morally grey, it's very dark, it's very gory, it's very horror like filled. I don't really have the chance to write romance in the way romance is typically written. So I think, yeah, if I was going to say maybe one thing, it would probably be that. Because I'm a very romantic person, but writing it down is just I'm just like, get to the point. We get it. Like, we know that you love her and we know that you're infatuated with her. Just shag her already. just get on with it. Because like, my wife is very romantic, but sometimes I feel like I'll watch something and I'll be like, oh, please, that's too much. If someone approached me in the street and it weren't my wife and they were doing things like that, I'd be like, oh, go away. You're giving me the ick. It's too much.
Yeah.
The ick.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you question number 8, because you've already answered that one, and if you missed it, on YouTube. So number 9 is, which of your side characters, if any of your side characters in any of your books, which do you think could have their own book? Like, you really enjoyed their character and you'd like to dive in more.
It's not, I'm just pointing out there, it's not going to happen because loads of people have asked, but it would be Tasha and Rocco from Vigilante.
Oh yeah, yes.
Because they already, like, Idifix was meant to be one book. It wasn't meant to be a series. But then people loved Zeke and Zayden so much, I was just like, right, okay, well, now I've got to do it. I have to give them what they want. But yeah, if it was 2 characters, it would be Rocco and Tasha. And Tako's laughing as well.
The chemistry was insane.
Insane. And that wasn't even supposed to happen. That wasn't even supposed. And this is like, and it's not just because she's on the live. I loved writing with Dakota so much. It was one of the easiest experience, other than Mel, who I wrote a Desperate Run with. It was one of the easiest experiences of my life, because I would write something and Dakota would message me straight away and she's like, I've got it. And when I would read her chapter, it was like she knew exactly where I wanted this to go. And Rocco and Tasha weren't meant to happen. But then we were talking and I wrote something and I was like, I'm going to write something, but it doesn't have to happen. I can cut it out. And she went quiet for hours. And I was like, oh, mate, she's dropping out. She's going to hate this. She went, I've written my chapter. I went straight back. It was Tasha's. I was like, oh, this is it. This is how it happens. And yeah, I think that they would be the two people that I would die to write a sequel to. But there's no way, you can't go anywhere with it. So
if I can give you somewhere it can go, would you write it?
Maybe I would have to. Me and Dakota have had this conversation so many times, and we would love to. But like, what's Rocco going to go and do? Go and kill someone else, and then they're going to have to be on the run from Italy again? It just it wouldn't work.
There's wiggle room here. There's wiggle room.
Maybe for a special edition, if we done one. Like an extended epilogue for them, maybe something extra.
How do you deal with writer's block?
Do you want me to tell you the honest, absolute truth?
Yes.
I put my laptop down and I pick up Romance. I have been on my binge since January 1st and I haven't come out of it and I can't get out of it. I've tried reading MF. I've tried reading Reverse Harem. Nothing. And when I have writer's block, nothing gets me in the writing mood like testosterone-infueled hate by two step-siblings in an romance. That is the God's honest truth. Or I will read Mafia.
Oh, that's my shit.
Yeah. Mafia or like I said, I've always said I'm a reader first. Yeah. So when I can't write, I don't force it, because again, my take on it is when I've written and had writer's block, I get angry very quickly. And so when I was writing No for an Answer, I won't spoil it because you're still reading it. The ending wasn't supposed to be the ending. Okay. But I wrote it and I shelved it for 2 months, and then I went back to it and I read it again and I hated the ending so much, I took 4 chapters and just deleted it and then rewrote the whole thing. I didn't like when I told my friend Mel that I did that, she went, "Oh, you just deleted 4 chapters." And I was like, yeah, I hated them so much I just deleted them. And then when I didn't have my writer's block anymore and I paced myself and relaxed, it came out with a way better ending than it had before.
Just gonna say, those 4 chapters would probably make you so much money right now if you told people I found them.
I have them. I have the chapters. I just deleted them from black paperback. I have the chapters. Pardon?
Auction them one day.
Oh, maybe. You never know. Might buy me a house.
Exactly. Okay. If you could cast a movie, now I'm going to say of Vigilante, because all 4 of those main characters are fit in my mind. But if you've got one in mind, which book would you cast? Who would you cast if you had to in a movie?
I haven't had much thought on Vigilante, but I have for No for an Answer.
Okay, good.
So Nathan was always written with Henry Cavill in mind. That there was no other, and a very specific Henry Cavill. Okay. Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible when he had a moustache.
Right.
That's my Nathan. Mm-hmm. And then for Maisie, because again, I wrote these down because I would forget. For Maisie, if we were setting this, let's say, in a little bit of a more older sort of time in like age grouping, it would have been Shailene Woodley to play Maisie, specifically for her performance in Divergent. I thought she was like fantastic in Divergent. Ashley would have been Samara Weaving, specifically for her scream, because Samara Weaving has one of the most like original Scream Queen screams I've ever seen, and from her performance in Ready or Not. If you've seen Ready or Not.
No, I don't think so. I don't really watch scary films. I'm a big chicken.
Oh, I'm a massive horror fan. Shadow would have been Harris Dickinson from Baby Girl.
Oh. Do you know what? That dude, right? I watched that film and I was fuming. I didn't understand it.
I didn't need to understand it. It was him. It was enough.
He was great. He was great. He was great. But I was just like, I was sat in the cinema and I was just like, something's going to happen in a minute.
No.
Nothing happened in that film.
I watched that with my wife. I watched it with my wife. And as soon as Nicole Kidman turned up in that hotel room, this is exactly what my wife did. She went, because she knew that I was about to lean forward and just be like, she don't even exist in a minute. No,
she's here, isn't she, at the bottom?
That film didn't need a plot. He was enough.
Yeah,
he was enough. And Jesse, just because he's quite a main character and no for an answer, would have been Jacob Elordi.
Ooh.
Specifically for his performance when he done that shouting scene in the bathroom of Euphoria.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah. But I'll never get that cast. If I was to ever be lucky to have No for an Answer made into... I'd want it to be made into a TV series, not a movie, because I don't think you'd get enough time to portray the whole thing. But if I was going to get it in a series, I wouldn't get them people.
I think you could try. Just try.
Millie Bobby Brown, maybe.
She's cool.
As Ashley. She's pretty good. She cries really well.
Yeah, I find her to be quite realistic. I watched her in Damsel, and I know that's the most unrealistic film ever, but she's actually it's so good.
I've not seen that.
There's like dragons and stuff in it. Funny enough, I can't.
Oh, that's why I ain't seen it.
I can't read fantasy, but that I could watch.
I think the only fantasy film I've ever seen, again showing my age, is a film called Dragonheart.
No.
And it's, long story short, it's about, he's the last dragon on Earth. And when the king's son was dying, he gave half of his heart to the king. So if the king's son dies, he dies. But if the dragon dies, the king lives. And hear me out. He is voiced by Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And I've never ever wanted to sleep with a dragon more in my life. It's even got a young Dennis Quaid in it with long hair, which is weird because Dennis Quaid's never had long hair ever since that film.
How do you keep on top of who, what, where, when, and how?
God, that's a hard one. Probably I think if anyone got hold of my phone, my phone is worth so much because it's all in my notes app.
Yeah.
So normally when I plot, I'm a bit of a pantser. So I think of a beginning and I think of an end, and then whatever else happens in between happens in between. But my main thing, what I do is so when I'm writing, it's not even a proper name, but I chapter check. So I will highlight a chapter that has a specific point in it, and then make sure that say the red highlighted chapter matches up with the blue highlighted chapter 4 chapters in.
Wow.
So it's a lot. I do a lot of back and forth because, again, if I get something in my head, I'll put that away and I'll go and write that. Like, ID Fix took me 12 hours to write because I had it in my head and I had to get it out.
Wow.
I want to go to that party. So if you ever host that party, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Please can you read that comment?
Where?
Huh?
It's Riggs's wife.
You'll be in the middle of a serious chat and
Oh,
she'll...
see, she's backing me up. She's literally backing me up. We will be in me, and it's so true. Me and her will be in a conversation, and I'll go, hold on a minute, and I'll get my phone out, and I'll sit there, and I'll do this, and then I'll put the phone down, and I'll go, right, what was you saying?
By which point I'd have forgotten absolutely everything we were talking
Yeah,
about.
me too.
Or usually when we're watching something, I do this sound. I go, oh. And then I get my phone out and I start writing it. And she'll pause the movie and she'll just be like,
When you're ready.
it's supposed to be date night.
Oh,
Sorry, I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Lucy is suffering for all of our pleasure.
She
Sorry,
does.
hon.
She does, but she won't be complaining if I ever get really, really famous and she doesn't have to work anymore. So
True. Keep supporting the cause, Lucy.
this is it.
We'll back you, don't worry. So we need to organise that party. I found an amazing venue and I think we could try it. I think we should try it.
Yeah.
Next question. Is it me? No, we've done the cast movie. How do you think? Oh, yeah. Okay. Which of your books would you, or have you turned any? Well, none of your books are an audiobook.
No.
No. Which one would you want to do first?
Desperate Run. Desperate Run, because I already have my narrators in mind that I would use.
Dream narrator cast then.
Okay, so and everyone will expect this because he's big and everybody loves him and he's a sweetheart and he's fantastic at his craft. Teddy Hamilton would have to be Draven. Like, me and Mel have already had this conversation fucking time and time again of who we would cast, and it's not even for the fact of his smart, for anything else like that. It's, if you've ever heard Teddy Hamilton doing comedy, his comedic timing is chef's kiss, absolute chef's kiss. And because Draven is so, as a male character, he's so dry, Teddy Hamilton would be the type of narrator that would hit the points that needed to be hit where they needed to be funny. But then also Teddy Hamilton's got, he's got a very sensual tone to his voice when he drops it an octave, when it's not like Nikolai tone, and when he drops it down and it's a bit softer, spot on. And I think if we were going to do Max, it would be, there's a narrator that does a lot of live work on here called Savannah Reeds. Phenomenal. She's absolutely phenomenal. She actually done a recording for Ashley for No for an Answer. It's on my page. So.
Oh,
but yeah, she would be the she would be the voice of Max. Yeah. And I think if I had to be really, really cheeky, I would choose James Cassidy for every other voice in the book. So all of the other side characters, because James Cassidy's voice is like, he can do like, I think like 15 to 20 accents.
Wow.
Then you wouldn't even know that it was him. So yeah, that would probably be mine and Mel's dream cast.
Amazing. That is awesome. Well, here comes an audiobook on request from all of us.
Just like, they're so expensive. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
And I would only ever have duet. I wouldn't have dual narration. If I ever audio booked like a Sapphic or MM, it wouldn't matter because it's 2 men and 2 women. So, but I'm a bit of a snob. When I do listen to audiobooks, I can't listen to a man do a female's voice and vice versa. It throws me off, because I grew up listening, again, show my age, I grew up listening to Radio 1, and Radio 1 used to do the same thing. They would like pick like a Charlotte Bronte book or like a Shakespeare book, and they would narrate it over the radio.
Yeah.
So because I'm used to hearing women do women and men do men, not that there's anything wrong with dual, it's just my personal preference. I can't concentrate. And they're not cheap. They're really expensive. And I don't have the cash money for that right now.
What we need is one of these fake sugar daddies to actually come through with some money so we can get this.
Yes.
Someone came into the live earlier and said to me, I'll give you gifts for
I know.
$50. And I was just like, all right, I'll get my feet out. And he disappeared. I was very fucking angry.
This is the thing. I always get the ones that message me and go, I'd like to be your sugar daddy, giving you $5,000 a week. I'm like, well, pull up then. Like, don't just tell me you got, like, I've been let down by men all my life. I don't need another one.
Yeah.
Where you're offering me money this time, not even trauma. You're not giving me trauma as a gift. You're offering me money and you can't even give me that. What's the point?
Exactly. Yeah. I literally sent the last one who messaged me just my PayPal link. I was like, cool. And he was like, oh, I don't want any like dirty talk or anything like that. I was like, I'm actually a bit partial to the dirty talk. Here's my here's my
If that was me and he went, I don't want no dirty talk, I'd be, why? What's wrong with me?
yeah. Sorry. How
Wait a
dare
minute. You want to pay? You just want to give me? You just want to give me $5,000 for nothing?
Yeah.
What's so wrong with me that you don't want me to talk dirty to you? What's the problem?
I was raging, but yeah. So that was waste of my absolute time.
It's always a waste of time. One day, what's going to happen is someone's going to do it and be deadly serious about it, and I'm just going to go, oh, piss off.
And I'm going to be really sarcastic. Yes. I say it every time I go to be really sarcastic back, I'm just like, be slightly nice, just in case. Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I mean, we are actually done with our questions, but I think Shah wanted to maybe ask you about your recent post.
Oh,
Yes.
my new flip on what I'm deciding to do.
Yeah.
So it's really, especially when you write erotic horror and you write the type of erotic horror that I do, it's very easy to get yourself stuck in a very, and this is not me agreeing with people that are like, dark romance and erotic horror is so bad for you, I can't believe that you read this. No. When you're a writer, it's completely different. So, like, I have to put myself in these situations so, like, more often than not. And it's, when you suffer from mental health, it's a lot harder to get yourself out of that mindset.
Yeah.
So, a couple of weeks ago, I'll give you a little treat. I wrote my first paranormal rom-com novella.
Wow.
Didn't expect to do it. Came out of nowhere. That's the one that took me 3 days to write. Came completely out of left field. Never thought that I would ever write anything paranormal in my life.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. So I was like, what else could I do that's going to give me 90s, campy, rom-com, like proper yearning romance? And that doesn't mean that there's not going to be smart. There's always going to be smart, because I can't read a book that's not got smart. But this is me going into my gothic monster era. So this is like vampires, werewolves, fucking Jekyll and Hyde, Frankenstein, like really old school stuff like Dorian Gray, all of the types of monsters that are from gothic stories that you wouldn't necessarily read about, because everybody is either writing about orcs or they're writing about 7 tentacled men. I can't I can't do that. I don't have the patience. But yeah, so I've decided to go into stuff that's just really fun and light-hearted, where I can just enjoy it and just be funny in the books and just make people laugh. And that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna write erotic horror or dark romance anymore, because my books will always still have even though they are fun and light, there will be some kind of slight horror aspect to it. And obviously the dark romance within the more gothic, like, I want you so bad that I will literally tear somebody's arm off that touches you. That kind of like deep love and desire for someone.
Yeah, anyway,
but yeah, I'll still be writing erotic horror. I've enjoyed myself so much writing that paranormal novella that I want to keep going, and I want to see where it goes. And if it works out, that's great. And if it doesn't, and there's only a few people that enjoy it, that's great too.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be just stuck writing one thing for the rest of my life. I want to please everybody, and I've always been a pleaser. I'm a Gemini, so like I always want to make everybody happy. But yes, I'm really, really excited. I'm really excited for it.
That is so exciting.
Like, I can't wait. Like, I've got a little vampire story that I'm planning on writing, and there's like, it's fun. It's just fun, and I'm not that I didn't enjoy writing erotic horror, but it can take its toll on you when you're in those, like, you. For me to get to the level of dark that I like, I have to put myself in that situation, and then I think about it all the time, and I think about, like, if that happened to me, how would I feel? And, you know, while this is happening to my character, I imagine that it's happening to me, and it can be so, like, soul destroying at times. Whereas if I'm writing about vampires and werewolves, they're not real.
Yeah.
It's fun, isn't it? It's just like a bit of light-hearted banter that can give me a bit of a mental break. So yeah, I'm really fucking excited for it. Like, I can't wait.
You said something about doing like rom-coms and stuff. Like, I genuinely find you funny, and you don't have to do much to get a laugh out of you. So if you can translate that into your writing, you're going to absolutely smash it. Like, I can't wait for your Office Grumpy Sunshine. Like,
there's going to be so much Grumpy Sunshine. I think the best Grumpy Sunshine translates the best in monster romance as well, because I do read some monster romance.
Okay.
And I just love that the monster's just always grumpy. And then you got like I read an author, it was the first book I've ever read of hers. She's called Jacqueline Hyde, and it's called Your Coffin or Mine. And it's about basically Vlad Tepes, the original vampire, and he lives in Tepes Castle in Romania, and this little blonde, curvy, cute, like big-breasted, like social media influencer turns up at his castle because his best friend is trying to turn it into a hotel, and he's not like, he hasn't drank blood in like over 100 years, so he looks like he's at death's door, like he's old, grey, he's like dusty, and he sees her and he's just looking at her tits and he's like, I need to start drinking blood because I'm not going to be walking around while that's walking around. And it was the most, and he's so miserable and so grumpy, but in his mind, when he's looking at her and he's talking to her, he just wants her so bad, but can't because she's a human. And it's what I laughed from the first page until the very final page on the epilogue. It was one of the most funniest things I've ever read. So if you want to get into, like, I would say that Jacqueline Hyde's monster books are a really good start off for starting in your monster genre if you want to go into that.
I've got a question here. Would you not cast Michelle Monroe or Michael Monroe, however you want to say it, for any of your characters? So this is 365 man. He's fit. Can't act for coffee, but he's fit.
Like he's hot. Don't get me wrong. Like that 5-minute boat scene on 365. That weren't acting. That weren't acting.
That's the best part. It wasn't acting.
That weren't acting. Absolutely not. But I think I don't really have any characters that are around his age, and I'm trying to think of what I'd have to write something around him, because I wrote Nathan around Henry Cavill. It wasn't just that I imagine if I was going to make it into a movie that I would pick him. He was written for him. But he is very beautiful.
Someone has said, how do you do arcs? I don't know what that means. Like, how do you choose them?
How do I choose arcs?
How do you structure the...
I mainly... So I have an arc team at the moment. It's very small, just because there'll be the people that will be testing out the new stuff that I'm starting to write. But mostly, if I do make arcs available for anybody to sign up, they have to have read my erotic horror. Because if they've read my erotic horror, they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. So if there's one day when I write something and my trigger list literally says, if you read my books, you know that it's trigger heavy. I shouldn't have to write triggers because you know my erotic horror is extremely dark. Probably not the darkest out there, because there's I think her name's Corey Zahara. I think her name is. Her stuff's really dark. Same as like SB Hazel. Her stuff is dark, taboo, like pitch black stuff. But I always like to make sure that if you've read those, then you know you'll be safe in my dark romance and you'll be safe in my lot of like the lighter stuff that I'm going to be doing. But if you haven't read my work and it's erotic horror, I don't tend to choose people, but that's from my own preference, because where I write dark stuff, I wouldn't want to upset anybody. Because again, my triggers are very dark. They deal with a lot of mental health, a lot of sexual assault, a lot of sexual harassment, a lot of gore, a lot of murder. And when I write my gore, I'm very graphic with it. It's not just she poked his eyeball out and like it's literally in depth of how I like to describe it. And I wouldn't want to trigger anyone and upset anyone, because I don't want to read books that I'm going to be upset by. But yeah, if it's normal, like it's normal dark romance, or just like Itty Fix is like just smutty, I'll give it to anyone. Doesn't matter what following they have. Doesn't matter whether they're a big book talker, whether they're a small book talker. I usually find that smaller accounts are better. Yeah. They might not have the biggest reach, but they are always the most grateful. And that is, I'll stand by that 100%. You'll never be chosen or not chosen for an arc by the amount of followers that you have. That I don't care about that. Because even though my follower count says something like 34.7, I don't get likes for that. I don't get views for that. That's just what people have followed my account.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. I hope that answers. Oh, I always try to leave. I hope that answered your question.
Hopefully.
My question was, when you were doing the whole vigilante kind of, how you did you find this from the actual situation itself, like the research from the situation itself, where the actual algorithm thing that like switched out the different illness for the payments for the insurance? I don't know if I'm asking that question at all right. Did you research that, or is that actually factual as to what?
No, we made that up. Okay,
because I was just like, that's literal murder, like what these companies are actually doing.
We made that up. Me and Dakota wanted to stick to, it's fanfic. Yeah. That's all Vigilante is it's just fanfic. It's just like when people write fanfic of Draco and Hermione, or like whatever other fanfic they've written. Mm-hmm. It was literally just for fun. None of anything other than the CEO part. Yeah. And the fact that, and the only other thing that's true is him smiling in the coffee shop on CCTV. That was it. Yeah. Because I
so tragic.
Knew I wanted to write that because of the smiling image that was going around. You know, before everybody knew it was him, and it was just a picture of him leaning on a counter and he had this massive smile. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that needs to be a book. Someone write that down. And then I went onto Threads And I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, who would be interested in like reading a like retelling of fucking Luigi Mangione? And literally Dakota messaged me and she was like, I'm in, chuck me in on that. I'll jump in. And I was like, well, I guess it's happening now, isn't it? And it did. And I think we wrote Vigilante in 2 weeks.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Same.
Someone has said, what advice would you give to a new writer? 3 top tips.
God, I'm the worst person to ask things like this.
Pearls of wisdom.
Be confident in yourself. Be confident in your story, in your writing. Not when you look at No for an Answer and you look at the stuff that I'll be releasing this year, my descriptive writing and my explanations and my like choice, like word choices, so much better. Never be ashamed to write something that you love.
Yeah.
Because if you love it, everybody else will love it. And third one, oh God, third one. Don't be afraid to actually reach out to authors as well and ask. And I'm always open. If anyone's ever looking to learn how to write, I don't gatekeep anything. There was a girl that I posted something on Threads about triggers, and she's got a book coming out this year. And she messaged me. She was like, I don't know the difference between non-con and dub-con and CNC. She said, could you just have a look at my chapters and see? I beta read the entire thing. It sent me the whole thing, beta read it, went through it. I will share my editors, my cover designers, my formatters. Because when I started, I had nothing.
Yeah.
All I had was a laptop and a story that I wanted to write. I had to learn everything all by myself because I was too scared to talk to another author and to ask because everybody's so busy.
Yeah.
But I don't gatekeep. I'll give you anything you need. If you've got a question or you need to know somebody, I know people that do expensive book covers. I know people that do cheap ones. I know I've got friends that will do you a book cover if you can't afford one and it will look like you've paid 300 quid for it. I just think and this is going to sound harsh, but it's not, I don't mean it like that. Everybody wants to be a writer. But it's whether you've got the confidence in yourself to become one, because it's hard. It's very hard. It's not easy at all. And I know it looks easy when you've got the paperback in your hand and it's become a bestseller and everybody's talking about it and everybody's reading about it. But it's not. From point A to point B, it's hard. And it can be draining and it can be time consuming. And there were times when I was writing my debut novel and I would cry because I didn't see the point. I didn't think anyone would like it. But it genuinely is about having confidence in yourself, your story, and how much you want it. If you want it that bad, it will happen for you.
You're gonna end up like
that answers the question.
You're gonna end up with like 1,000 different indie authors flooding to your page. Might I suggest you doing miniature lives for yourself where you just talk about the process?
I'm honestly fine with that. It's all right. Like I said, I had to learn everything from scratch. The only person that I had help from was Jasmine Wallace. She was my editor, and she formatted and she line something. She went through the entire thing for me, and at that point, I'd also met Mel, and she designed my cover for me for free. I didn't pay for anything because I was new, and I was just lucky enough that I started speaking to Jasmine when I did, and she done it all for me for free. So if I can pass it forward, as it's called, and help anybody that needs help, we've all got to make money. We all want to do something that we love, and I think if nobody wants to help you, it's just going to be a pretty sad place to live in, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. I love that. I love that answer. Yeah, think about maximizing your output and minimizing your time.
Yes.
For them all to flood to you at a live on a certain time and answer.
Yes, please don't do it all at once.
Give her a minute.
And if I don't reply, it's because I'm reading MM romance.
Someone did ask for some recommendations, but I'm pretty sure you put a post up.
Two videos on my page.
On my page.
Yep, they're on my page. If you need any more, DM me. I got a whole bag.
I love that. I love that. Well, I am very conscious that you have work early in the morning. So unless Shah has any more questions.
No, just thank you for coming.
Anyone down here has any questions?
Hi, Keely.
I know she's on the MM as well.
Yeah. That reminds me, actually, I have to message Keely because I've got a whole list of Mafia books that I need to send her because she's in her Mafia bag at the moment.
Amazing. Send them to me too. Thank you very much.
I've had so much fun. Thank you so much.
Hi, wife.
If anybody don't know, this is my wife.
I like these. Was that a snippet? I like the top.
She's so excited. She's like doing this. She's going. Oh. I had so much fun. Thank you so much for having me on.
No, it is more than our pleasure because I know Shah is extremely obsessed with you, and I'm on the ladder, working my way up through my obsession. But you had me with Vigilante, and I still. Never mind, we won't go through that. We did it already. I'm not going to hold it against you.
Don't hold it against me. I'm going to not be able to sleep at night because I'm like, oh my god, she needs a plot for fucking. I need to do it now. I've got to write it.
If this so happens to pop into your mind, hun, just send it in a text and I'll be done. I'll be happy.
I promise, I will. I'll write it in my notes app and I'll forward it through email.
Delightful. Riggs, it's been awesome.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Sleep well. Have a good day at work.
Will do. I'll speak to you guys soon.
You will.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, she's so cool.
She is beautiful.
Good night, Keely. Thank you for coming.
Good night, Keely.
I am super buzzed by that. You know when they say don't meet your idols, and then you meet them and they're actually freaking cool, like so much cooler than you thought they would be.
She's so down to earth.
Spot on. You're welcome, little Miss Harley. It's our pleasure, like doing this, speaking to indie authors or new authors. I can't believe she's done all of this in a year.
The woman is crazy. Like, how she has any time for anything else is beyond me.
Yeah, like you're meeting her. You're going to authors at the Armory. We need to look at me like we should be booking our tickets.
I just thought,
I will.
so
you.
we hopefully.
Yeah, so we hopefully will be there as well. We did plan to buy our tickets. It was like 2 days ago, but we can do this. You're volunteering. Cool.
Oh.
Maybe we should offer.
Well, we only decided like.
There's a discount code on the tickets in a minute. If anyone knows the discount code, holla.
Thank you, Postmortem Author. It was nice to meet you too.
Oh, did I miss someone?
And I've had to. I don't know why it wouldn't let that come through. That comment, to be fair.
Okay. It was nice to meet you too.
Send it us through, Tony.
Come back. If you're an author, is there anything we would like to read and you can come and talk to us?
Yes.
We do love the indie authors. That's what I was saying. Like indie authors, we hope that we're soon. The more this grows, the more we will be shedding bigger lights on indie authors. So yeah.